everybody, Jennifer Maker here. It's a beautiful day to make some gorgeous shaped edge cards with just a few simple supplies. You all seem to absolutely love my last few shaped edge card projects. I saw so many of you make them. Thank you for sharing your photos. So I'm back with 3 more designs for you. And this time we'll take it up a notch by showing you how to create these beautiful 3-dimensional effects, plus how to use more than one inner liner to create amazing layered cards your family and friends are going to love. You can, as always, use my PDF files to cut these designs by hand, but I'll use not 1 but 2 cutting machines today to show you that you can make these on any Cricut. I'll show you how to prepare and cut this lovely card design using my Cricut Maker 3. And then I'll demonstrate and prepare how to cut this smaller tree card using the tiny but mighty Cricut Joy. In fact, I made a whole collection of these same designs but sized to fit the Joy. I just love projects that can be made with any size machines so we can all craft together. So you can use a Maker or Explore series machine, a Cricut Venture, a Joy, or a Joy Extra, or any other cutting machine that uses SVG or DXF cut files. You can make these cards with just a couple sheets of cardstock and some craft glue. And that's it. I've got the list of tools and supplies plus links on where to find them in my materials list. It's over at jennifermaker.com/598. That's also where you'll find the printable tutorial with written instructions and tips too, if you like that. And if you love these but want to make your own custom shaped edge card with your own choice of design, stay tuned to the last step to get more details on how I can help you do just that. So, are you ready to get started making these awesome cards? Let me show you how to get the free files and then we'll begin. Step 1, get my free shaped edge card designs. First, download my designs at jennifermaker.com/598. You can either download right from that link by saving the project or download from my entire free design collection. To find it, look for Libraries in the red bar at the top, and then click either Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the Library. Search the page for design number 598 and click the link to download the designs. If you're not sure how to use these files, go to jennifermaker.com/svgs to learn how to download and unzip files. There are 3 designs in the folder: a flower card, a tree card, and a whale card. Each design has a no-score version that uses dash cut lines to create the foldable creases for those of you who do not have a scoring tool, as well as score versions that uses a scoring tool to create the creases. You'll also find a folder labeled for Joy users that contains Cricut Joy sized versions of each of these 3 designs, with the dash cut lines to create the foldable creases. Back in the main folder, there's also a DXF folder with cut files if you need those, as well as a PDF folder with versions that you can print and cut by hand. In this video, I'll show you how to use a Cricut Maker 3 cutting machine and a Cricut Joy to cut the pieces for 2 cards so they are nice and precise. Option number 1, full-size shaped edge card. Step 2, prepare and cut your full-size cards. Let's start with the full-size flower card design, which I'll show you how to cut with a Cricut Maker 3. Begin by adding the design to Cricut Design Space. To do this, click the Upload button and then click Upload Image. Click Browse and find the Flower Card SVG folder with no score in the name. I'll demonstrate with this version so anyone can make it, even if you don't have a scoring tool. If you do have a scoring tool that you would like to use, you can use the design with score on the file name instead, which uses a scoring stylus or single scoring wheel to create the crease line. I have information on how to work with the score lines over at jennifermaker.com/Cricut scoring. Once you've selected the best design for you, click Upload, then select the new design under Recent Uploads and click Add to Canvas. Now click the Ungroup icon to ungroup the design. I recommend always ungrouping a design after you upload it, because it will be grouped by default. The flower design includes a large base piece and a liner piece to go inside, which will be invisible through the cutouts on the front of the card. If you'd like to see a preview of what your card will look like when it's finished, you can change the color of the pieces to match your cardstock. To do this, select a layer and click the color box up at the top and choose a color. I'd like my card to have the original colors though, so I'll click on the canvas to exit the color box, then click the undo arrow to go back to how it was. And that's all we need to do. The card is ready to cut. Make sure the correct machine is selected in the top right, and then click Make. On the Prepare screen, make sure the correct material size is selected for your materials. Select the first mat again and click Continue. On the Make screen, set the base material for your first mat. My first mat is my base card layer. I want to use plain white cardstock for this layer, so I'll click Browse All Materials and search for medium cardstock. Select that setting, then click Done. Then under Pressure, select More for cleaner cuts. Place your first mat's cardstock face up on a green standard grip machine mat. If you're using glitter, shimmer, or pattern cardstock, be sure to place it pretty side up on the mat. Use a brayer to make sure it's fully and evenly adhered, as this will really help you get clean cuts. Check that your premium 5-point blade is clean and in the correct clamp. Then press the flashing Load button to load the mat into your Cricut. And then press the flashing Go button to begin cutting. When it's finished, unload your mat, flip your mat over onto your work surface, and gently roll the mat back to release the cardstock without ripping or tearing it. If you need to, you can use a spatula to carefully lift and remove any intricate parts, like around the flowers. And you can also use a weeding tool to pop out any small pieces. If you have trouble with any of your cuts, check out my Cricut tips and tricks for cleaner cuts at jennifermaker.com/blades. You can use your scraper tool to remove any bits of cardstock left behind on your mat. My next mat is my liner, and I want to cut it from gold shimmer cardstock. Now, Cricut doesn't have a cut setting for shimmer cardstock, but I found that it cuts well on the same medium cardstock setting that I use for my plain 65-pound cardstock. So I'll click Browse All Materials and search for medium cardstock again. I'll select it, click Done, and again set the pressure to More. In the future, if I were to cut this same combination again, or make a card with all the layers cut from the same type of cardstock, I'd want to check the box next to Remember Material Settings to apply my first mat's cut settings to the rest of the mats. This can really save some time. Step 3. Assemble your shaped edge cards. For the flower design, you'll have one large card base and one smaller liner piece that goes inside. Place the base on your work surface pretty side down if you're using one-sided cardstock, with the cutout flower shapes on the left. Fold the flower side over at the crease, then use a scraper tool to sharpen it. Keep it closed while we give the petals shape. Grab a pen or marker and curl each large petal upward around it. This adds a fun 3D effect, like the flowers are popping off the card. You can use a weeding tool to bend or curl the smaller cut petals too. Isn't that fun? Open the card so the cutout flowers are on the left. Grab your liner piece and match up its edges with the edges of the base card's right side. Check that all of the flower outlines match up. If they don't, flip it over and try the other way. Now apply craft glue to the inside of the card base on the side with the cutout flowers. Be sure to apply glue all around the flower edges and in the center of each flower. Don't put any on the petals. Push the liner squarely into the crease and carefully close the card to adhere the front to the liner. Make sure the edges are flush along the top, bottom, and side, and adjust the liner if needed before the glue dries. Press the layers together between the curled petals to adhere the liner to the card. If any excess glue seeps out from inside the flowers, you can use a paper towel to dab it away. Now open the card to make sure no excess glue seeped out onto the bottom layer. This is what the finished sunflower card looks like. Option number 2, joy-sized shaped edge cards. Step 2, prepare and cut your joy-sized card designs. Now let's make a 4x6-inch tree card design from the 4 Joy Users folder, which I'll show you how to cut with a Cricut Joy cutting machine. Start by adding a Joy-sized design to Cricut Design Space. Click the Upload button and then click Upload Image. Click Browse and find the folder called For Joy Users. I'll demonstrate with the tree card SVG file to show you how to make it on the Cricut Joy. The process is very similar for the other 2 designs as well. Once you've selected the best design for you, click Upload. Then select the new design under Recent Uploads and click Add to Canvas. Click the Ungroup icon to ungroup the design. Remember, I always recommend ungrouping since most files come grouped by default. There is a solid back base piece, a front base piece with cutouts, and 2 colored liners that layer inside to make the tree. If you want to see a preview of what the card will look like when it's assembled, you can change the color of the pieces to match your cardstock right now. To do that, select a layer and click the color box and choose a color. If you change the green layer to orange, now it's an autumn tree. Now I want to keep the original color, so I'll click on the canvas to exit the color box, then click the undo arrow at the top to turn it back to how it was. And now we're ready to cut the card. Select the correct machine in the top right. I'll use my Cricut Joy this time, and click Make. On the Prepare screen, make sure the correct material size is selected for your materials. Remember, you can always cut materials smaller to fit the mats for the Joy Extra or the Joy. On the Make screen, set the base material for your first mat. My first mat is my front base card layer. I want to use plain white cardstock for this layer, so I'll click Browse All Materials and search for medium cardstock. Select that setting and then click Done. Then under Pressure, select More for cleaner cuts. Check that your premium fine-point blade is clean and in the correct clamp. Place your first mat's cardstock face up on a green Joy-sized standard grip machine mat. I'm using the longer 4.5 by 12-inch mat, but you can also use the standard 4.5 by 6.5-inch mat. The pieces fit on both. Use a brayer to make sure it's fully and evenly adhered to help you get the best cuts. And when the light is flashing, load your mat and click the Go button to begin cutting. When it's finished cutting, click Unload to unload the mat. Flip the mat over onto your work surface and roll it back to release the cardstock. Use your spatula tool to carefully remove the intricate tree parts, and your scraper tool to remove any bits of cardstock left behind on your mat. You can use a weeding tool to pop out any small pieces, like these leaves, and then continue cutting out the rest of your mats. Step 3. Assemble your Joy-size shaped edge card. For the tree, there are 2 base pieces that are the same color. The solid one is the back piece, and the one with the cutouts is the front. There's also a solid color liner piece and a liner piece with leaf cutouts. Place the front base piece with the tree cutout on your work surface, with the tree upright and the leaves pointing to the left. It should be pretty side down if you're using one-sided cardstock. Now, avoiding the tab along the right side, apply craft glue to the front base piece. Be sure to apply glue along the edges and between most of the leaves. This is when a precise tip really helps. Now grab the liner piece with leaf cutouts and hold it over the glued base piece. The cutout liner is slightly smaller than the base layer, so there will be a thin edge of the base layer showing around the liner when the layers are correctly aligned. When the layers are aligned, press them together to adhere them. Use your paper towel to dab away any glue that may have seeped out onto the back of the card, the work surface, or the front of the card. Set the layers face down on the work surface and apply glue to the back of the cutout liner piece, still avoiding the tab along the right side. Be sure to apply glue along the edges and between the leaves. Now get the solid liner piece and hold it over the other 2 assembled pieces. Line up the edges and cutouts and then press them together to adhere them. Dab away any glue that might have seeped out with your paper towel and then place the assembled pieces face down on your work surface. When everything is fully dry, fold the tab up along the crease line, and then use your scraper to get a sharp crease. Place the back base piece face down on your work surface to the right of the front base piece. The long straight edge should be on the left. Now apply glue to the outside of the tab and then slide the straight side of the back up against the crease on the front piece. Holding the back piece in place, press the glue tab down onto it. Let it dry and the card is done. If you want to cover the tab inside, simply duplicate the solid liner piece in Cricut Design Space, then change its color to white or whatever color you'd like and cut it out. Then apply glue to the back piece inside the card and adhere the duplicate liner to it. Now the tab is covered. Step 4, show it off. Here's what my finished cards look like. But what card is complete without an envelope to put it in? Be sure to check out my envelope tutorial at jennifermaker.com/how-to-make-an-envelope to learn how to make your own. I have free envelope designs and lots of cool patterns. The larger 5x7 cards fit into an A7 envelope, while the smaller 4x6 cards fit into an A6 envelope. If you decide to resize these cards for any reason, be sure to reference the sizes in the envelope tutorial so you can make sure there's an envelope to fit. Step 5, customize it. If you loved these shaped edge cards but wish you could customize one with a different design, I hear you, and I have a way that you can do that. You can get the custom templates and elements toolkit that I made for these cards and learn how to create your own custom shaped edge cards through a special program I have called Advance with Jennifer Maker. The Advance program helps you advance your crafting skills by teaching you how to make these popular designs unique and special through tutorials and templates, as well as give you advanced access to my vast library of designs, projects, and resources. Now, I may or may not be accepting new members into the Advanced program at the time you're watching this video, but if you're interested, go to jennifermaker.com/advance to learn more and see how it all works. I just love how these cards turned out. Aren't the layers so pretty? Never underestimate what you can do with just a little bit of cardstock and glue. Now, if you need any help making these beautiful cards, there are reference photos in the tutorial over at jennifermaker.com/598. I know some of you learn better with written instructions and photos. And also remember, there are more designs in the collection for you. The full-size whale and tree cards use the same steps as the full-size flower card that I demonstrated in this video. And the joy-sized whale and flower cards follow the same steps as the tree card that I showed you. There are lots of reference photos in there as well to help you out. And you can learn more about the templates and toolkit to customize your very own shaped edge cards over at jennifermaker.com/advance. I can show you how to make a shaped card with pretty much any design you can imagine. Now, if you have any questions about working with cardstock, your Cricut Joy, your Maker, you explore anything else craft related that you think I can help you with, please let me know. You can leave your question below this video or come on over and ask in our Cricut Crafters group at jennifermaker.com/CricutCrafters. Please keep sharing your photos of your cards. It really uplifts me when I see that you've made them. Truly it does. And that's it for today. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.